I like that photo.
I do too, and I love upcycling. So we'll keep it in there if we have time. We'll play with it.
Yeah, we'll put it towards the end.
Oh, just kidding. Come back here. Right there. Thank you. Okay.
Okay. So,
What else do you want?
so let's look at others that maybe aren't WordPress.
That aren't
Actually,
WordPress.
I just want to check something. Can we keep it quiet real quick? I just want to make sure that. Okay, now. All right, we're live.
Hello, I am not Professor Casey Frechette.
And neither am I.
Professor Frechette will not be with us today. Christopher Campbell is still here.
But I don't have a microphone.
But he doesn't have a microphone.
And we have
I don't have a camera.
And we have a special guest, Ashley Grant. Would you like to tell us about yourself, the famous Ashley Grant?
Yes, I am famous Ashley Grant. Well, what do you want to know first?
The first thing I would like to know is what you do and why you're here.
What do I do? Okay, well, it's funny. My mom's been asking me for years what I do. But Reader's Digest version, I am a ghost blogger and a business blogging coach.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much for joining us today to
for
talk
having
about
me.
blogging and especially about research. Yes. I'd like to start by cheating and looking at my notes and ask you, so you have a personal blog. You blog for other people.
Yes.
Let's start with being clear about what ghost blogging is.
Okay.
Do you want to tell us a little
Sure.
bit about that?
Sure. Basically, a ghost blogger is a person who does ghost writing on business blogs. So imagine that let's say you run a dentist office and you want to be blogging on it, but for your business, but you just don't have time to do it. And so what people that have their own business that don't want to write, they hire people like me to write the content for them.
Okay, and then that does not go under your name.
Nope, I don't get the credit, but I'll take the cash.
Okay, cash it is. Well, we're just giving you credit here, not cash.
Okay, good.
To be clear on what you're getting out of this. Okay, and then, so you also have a personal site.
Yes, I do have a personal site, and it's famousashleygrant.com. And on that site, I do everything from sharing what it's like to beg people for money to I share some stuff about the Tampa Bay area, DIY stuff, any brand ambassadorships that I'm working with, all kinds of the fun stuff. So the business stuff is during the day, and then the fun stuff is on Famous Ashley Grant.
Awesome. Who is your primary audience with AshleyGrant.com? Excuse me, famous AshleyGrant.com. I'm so sorry, can't forget the fame.
That's okay.
Who are you trying to get to?
Honestly, anybody that wants to hear what I have to say. I know you're supposed to have a niche and a target audience and things like that, but with my lifestyle blog, I've noticed that a lot of the people that read my stuff are women who want to have their own business or work from home or just want to go out and have a good time, because like I write about a whole bunch of different things on that, and so there's really no target audience for that one, I gotta say. But it is mainly women that read it.
With this particular YouTube video, we are seeing mostly our primary audience is a blogging class,
Okay.
Professor Frechette's blogging class.
Okay.
So I would like to move the conversation, if we can, a little bit toward the idea of research,
Okay.
because that's what they're working on this week.
I do a lot of research.
So one of the things that we're talking about, and we've seen a little glimpse of some of the student blogs, and
Yes.
we're going to talk more about that later. But one of the things that we want to encourage the students to do is to move further down this, I coined it, this spectrum of originality.
Okay.
And so it's this idea that you may have a blog post that is just aggregation. Here's, 5 great old-fashioned recipes from these 5 other websites.
Yeah.
And that's not really any original content at all.
Right.
And then on the far end of that, we have original research and reporting that is completely created by the blogger.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's all sorts of stops in between, like there's commentary, there's analysis, and there's ways to include more. So we really want to push students to be more original in their blog post. So as far as your mix goes, and we can talk about this, I would like to kind of talk about it separately. Ghost blogging,
Okay.
and then Ashley, famous Ashley. You can just. But with ghost blogging, are you usually creating completely original material for your clients?
Yes.
Okay, so talk to me about that.
Yes. Okay. So for my ghost blogging clients, most of the time they'll come to me with just a keyword, and they'll say like, okay, this week we want to talk about foot fungus. Yes, I really had this happen. So
Let's talk about foot fungus, baby.
Oh yeah,
Let's
foot
talk
fungus.
about
It's
you
super
and
fun.
me.
I'm a fun guy. Anyway, so they'll come to me and they'll just say, okay, this is the keyword that we're looking for, and sometimes they'll bring me a couple of links that they saw that they're interested in. Now, then it's my job to go back and research everything I can find on that, and then take all of that stuff I find and put it into a 500 to 2,000 word blog post, depending on what the client needs. Okay.
And then with Famous, I almost did it again.
Yeah.
You would have gotten to have hit me. Okay, with the famous Ashley.com, AshleyGrant.com, what kind of mix do you use there?
There's a wide variety of stuff on there. I do everything from roundup posts where you do the 5 cocktails that you found, blah blah blah, to sometimes I'll share a new DIY thing that I have done. Like, I love upcycling. Upcycling is like my thing right now. So I recently did a post where I had these Citrus Magic solid air fresheners, and I took the containers from them and I created this thing for Halloween because it was really cute little pumpkins. So it's a very wide spectrum, and I know I need to hone it down. I know all the professional bloggers out there, I know they're gonna fuss at me, but yeah, so I'm still trying to find my voice of exactly what I want to say on Famous Ashley, because I've gotten so used to the ghostwriting that I'm trying to figure out who is Famous Ashley.
Everyone else knows that's how she got famous.
Yeah.
Now, Chris, how are you doing on your blog?
I think I may change it, actually.
Okay.
Something else.
So you might change your blog too.
Yeah.
Trying to find your voice. Who is Chris?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
I should say that.
Okay. And have you given any thought to your mix? Or do you want to find something where you're doing mostly original content, or are you just looking for the aggregate? What are you looking for?
Well, now again, they probably can't hear me very well. Honestly,
Okay.
I don't have the microphone, so I don't know if I should really be talking that much.
Okay.
Okay. Chris
All
is
right.
gonna go shy on us. Okay.
No, it's
I know.
occasionally every now and then yelling out is fine, but
Okay. You don't feel like screaming for the next 3 to 5 minutes? No? Okay, fair enough. Okay. So with so can you let us see some of your thinking as a professional blogger, both ghost blogger and with your own personal brand? What goes into your decision-making process as far as what kinds of posts you're going to have? Again, speaking of that spectrum of originality.
Okay. With the ghost blogging, it's really all up to the client. I mean, yeah, okay, I can come up with some ideas and just be like, hey, why don't we do this? But at the end of the day, it's really about giving a voice to them in terms of what they want to sell, or because obviously the point of business is you want to sell. So with the ghost blogging, it's really about what they want. So the ideas are all from them. But in terms of for my site, it's really been about what inspires me or what excites me, or opportunities that come up. I've been very fortunate. I'm a member of a local networking group here called Tampa Bay Bloggers, and we've had some pretty cool opportunities to do tastings at local restaurants. And so lately, it's been a lot of writing about those kinds of things. Like we'll end up at a burger joint and then we write about the burgers, that kind of thing. Or recently, I had an opportunity with a PR company. They reached out and said, hey, we have a new store opening. Would you like to come try our products? So it really depends on what is available. But the things that excite me a lot, where I get a lot of inspiration, is if I see a cocktail that I want to try to make myself, that'll end up being a piece of content. Or if I get really excited about a craft I saw at a craft fair or at the flea market even, I want to make that, that kind of stuff. So it's kind of my environment, like the things I already gravitate to, those are the things that I can't wait to write about.
Okay, and then what about as far as, so if there's a cocktail you're trying to make.
Yes.
That one stuck out to me for some particular reason. If there's a cocktail you're trying to make, how do you decide whether it's going to be a roundup where it's the 5 best recipes for this cocktail from websites, or if it's going to be the history of that cocktail, or if it's just going to be a first-person narrative about your experience in making that cocktail? Is there any is there any method to the madness at all, or is it just, you know, whatever you're feeling at that moment?
It's really what I'm feeling at that moment. But I will tell you that if I start seeing, because I'm friends with a lot of bloggers on Facebook. I love my bloggy friends. That's what I call them, my bloggy friends. And if I start seeing a lot of them are posting, let's say, rum cocktails, and I start seeing them over and over again, I want to do a post about all the rum cocktails. So sometimes I'll start a post with, you know, a cocktail that I like, and then I'll do a bunch of features of other people too, because I love being able to shout out about other people. Like, I just get a kick out of like saying, oh my God, I saw, you know, Tracy did this awesome wine cocktail on her site. And so that's the kind of thing I get really fired up about.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so with the next thing I want to talk about is Tap That Stream. And that's the idea. So you just really brought us right into that. Thank you so much.
We planned it. No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
We tried.
We tried, but
we didn't.
Like, I'll just go ahead and tell everybody who was watching, all the notes I was given, I had no time to read any of them. So this is all on the fly. This is live. This is for real.
We were totally going to fake it. I thought we were agreed that we were going to fake it.
I'll fake it a little.
Thanks for throwing us out there. Okay.
I keep it real. It's just how it is. That's what blogging's supposed to be about, authenticity.
Authenticity.
Yeah.
Okay. I said I wanted authentic. You brought it. Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay. So but even unplanned, you just have a natural genius for this. You just brought us right into that idea.
I am a genius. Bloggy genius.
We're seeing what your bloggy friends are posting.
Yes.
So you obviously follow them.
Yes.
So one of the things that we're talking about with students is knowing what your audience wants, needs, and is looking at.
Yes.
And one of the ways that we do that is by following other bloggers, journalists, and watching trends in our topic areas. And we don't have to get like super into all the ways to do that. But who do you follow? Who does famous Ashley Grant follow?
I follow other bloggers all the time. I love following bloggers. I follow a lot of DIY bloggers, follow the crafters, the people who are making their own cocktails. And I've gotten really obsessed with following foodies. Like, I mean, I don't know what it is, but they come up with some pretty cool recipes, so I follow those too.
Okay. And then how do you manage all of this? Because this sounds like you're following many people. How many people would you say, just ballpark it to the nearest 100? How many?
100?
I'm kidding. But how many like bloggers are you following?
Goodness.
But excuse me, but to be clear, by following I mean you just keep up with them in any way at all.
In any way, okay. And any touch point possible, I guess a couple hundred at least. That I you know, it'll hit me randomly. Like, let's say I'm doing I don't know, I need to do a roundup of Thanksgiving posts. I know there are certain ones that I can just go and search on their page and I'll be able to find Thanksgiving stuff. So so yeah, about 200 that I think of randomly, and I'll just be like, oh, they'd be perfect for this, you know, so that kind of stuff.
And do you do any like formal or systematized following? Like, do you have people that you follow closely on Facebook, or you get Twitter notifications for, or Instagram, or any, or that
you want me to give my stalker secrets? Yes, there are people I stalk. Okay, so yes, I do have some private lists on Twitter. Like, if there's specific things that I know I'm going to be doing, I will put them into those lists so that I know, like, okay, when I'm ready for this, this is what I want to go do. Like, I really want to start my own podcast. And so I have an entire list of bloggers that also do podcasting, and I watch them, you know, whenever I get excited and want to do something with it. So that kind of thing. Is that what you mean?
Yes, and then now that you've mentioned stalking.
Yeah, my internet stalking.
Is there anyone who you're legally allowed to disclose? You know, there's not like a restraining order against you.
Nice.
That who you just, anything this person posts, you know about it. You get it on all of your dashboards and all of your feeds and all of your, you know. Is there anyone? You can whisper it to me in the microphone.
In the microphone. Goodness. Well, I mean, shout out to Tracy. I've been following Tracy from Having Fun Saving a lot. She's also a local blogger. She has been posting some pretty cool stuff. And so pretty much everything she posts I know about. Sorry, Tracy. I'm kind of telling everyone I'm stalking you, but yeah.
And how do you do this? Do you have any RSS feeds? Do you have any? Do you manage your social media with anything like Hootsuite? Is there anything? Do you have a list of favorites that you go through in any way? Do you use any systems, apps, programs, anything for managing this stalking?
Stalking. God. Okay.
That's what RSS stands for. Really stalky stalker.
Nice. Really stalky stalker. That's hysterical. I do subscribe to different bloggers' newsletters. So I do have their newsletters, and then I have a filter in my Gmail that says, you know, like if this person sends me an email, put it here, and then it like goes into inspiration and, well, stalking. And and then whenever I have time, I'll go back and I'll look through everything that I've received, and then I'll figure out if I want to do something with it or if I just need to check it in the good old delete box. But so that's one thing I do, and then I do have Hootsuite on all the time. I do have TweetDeck open all the time, and you know how in TweetDeck you can have different columns with different things, like you can follow hashtags. So for some of my clients, I actually have hashtags open all the time so that I can see, if anything's coming up, like, if Taylor Swift tweeted about something,
fungus.
For foot fungus, like if she says she has a really gnarly case of it, I need to know. And so, you never know what's going to be coming up because everything's constantly coming out. And so if you have those hashtags open in a list and you can kind of keep an eye on if anything popped up, that's one thing I'll do.
This is just pure curiosity, but how much time goes into this? Like, how do you manage this? Have you worked it into a routine? Do you have...
Oh, there's no routine.
Okay.
There's no routine. I'm way too ADD for a true routine. And every time I try to create a routine, I'll be honest with you, it kind of falls apart. So it's just when I'm in a situation where I have to come up with something, I have to create content, that's when I'll just be like, okay, let's spend 15 minutes figuring out what the heck I'm going to write.
Okay, so the speaking of what the heck you're going to write, another great segue.
That's like I planned it.
Do I have to pay extra for those?
No.
Yes, all included.
Yes.
Okay, so with and I'm going to, forgive me, I'm just going to read this right from the
Go
phone.
for it.
Sorry. Okay, but so one of the things that Casey Frechette was talking about was Charlie White and John Biggs point out that bloggers often don't have access to original sources. Right?
Wrong.
Wrong? Okay. So now just out of defense of Casey, he didn't say that.
I know.
He said that Charlie White and John Biggs said that. So, okay, so do you want to other things that they said that you may find is wrong?
Okay.
Well, and Casey said this, not Biggs and White. Okay. But in some important ways, access for bloggers and everyone else is greater than ever. And then the other thing that Biggs and White talked about is the turnaround time is so important with modern technology and media being what it is, that there's not really time to edit. That's not a thing. Editing, not a thing. Fact checking, not a thing. You just have to get it done and get it out.
Yeah.
But Casey says that it's important still. So where do you fall? Let's talk about access first. Let's break this down into two things. So how important do you feel that access is to today's bloggers?
Access is very important. I mean, you need to be able to, if you need something to write about, or if you need to cite a source or something like that, you do need access to it. And I'll be honest with you, my absolute favorite way to get access to sources that you would normally have to pay subscriptions for is my local library. I'm obsessed with the library because subscriptions that I can't afford, I can get for free thanks to the local taxpayers. So that's I mean, seriously, if I'm being 100% honest, I mean, because I don't know about you, but I can't be paying $60 for a journal here or $200 for, I did a lot of medical writing for a while, and those medical journals, they're expensive. And so to be able to get on my local library site and just use my number to bring up all these journals and things, that's way better than spending a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With and about the 100% honest, I thought we negotiated to like 98.4.
Oh, that's right, 98.
98.4.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll bring it down a notch.
100% is fine.
Okay.
I was an accounting major, so I can accept up to 104%.
Okay. 100. Wait. Okay. Back to you. Sorry.
Okay. So
I can't math.
I used math as a verb today too, and my students made fun of me. Okay, so do you have any access stories, like information that you really wanted to get but you just couldn't get to it, or something that you couldn't pin down by deadline, so you published without it, and then that wasn't such a great idea? Or something that you've gotten through cunning, shrewdness, and/or general reporting, like any big finds in the access category. 100%
I'm going to get in a lot of trouble for this. I just know it.
Don't
okay,
get
so
yourself in trouble, but
I'll give another Reader's Digest version. Basically, what happened was I had a story that I had to take care of where we needed expert interviews, and it was like kind of one of those things where if it wasn't something the expert actually said, it was going to come back and bite us. And I could not get any expert to talk to me. Like, I could not. So what I ended up doing, and, you know, I don't know if this is, like, allowed or what, but I cited sources. That's the important thing. I cited sources. I went and I found all the podcast interviews I could find from these experts. I went and found every interview that they had done for, like, you know, your New York Times or whatever. And I went through all of their content, and then I found the nuggets that I needed to actually publish this piece. So it was intense and it was crazy, but we got it done and no one got yelled at. So
I think that's a good solution.
yeah, it's the only solution I could come up with. But we did cite every single source in the story. I want to make sure that's clear. Don't plagiarize.
Good. Plagiarizing's bad?
Plagiarizing's very bad.
I had that class.
And people will call you out on it too. That's a big thing. And I mean, when you're sharing your blog posts on social media, if you do anything, you better know that if you did it wrong, you're gonna hear about it.
Probably from 9 different sources also,
Yes.
or more. You're gonna hear about it on Twitter, you're gonna hear about Facebook, you're gonna
Yes.
hear about it everywhere. Okay, so what advice do you have for new and developing bloggers on when access is important and how to get it?
I'm sorry, what?
Okay, so when is access important? As in, you know, so if you're writing about cocktails.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm stuck on that. We can discuss that further after the show.
After the show.
After the show, we can discuss that in more detail.
Yeah.
But so if you're writing about cocktails,
Yeah.
it might not, depending on the story, it might not be critical to have primary sources
Right.
to write this post.
Like expert interviews kind of thing.
Yes, but there are other stories, like, I don't know how much more detail you can give, and I don't want to get you in trouble, so please don't push the boundaries. But there might be other situations in which it would be critical to do it. And as developing bloggers, we might not know when we're in which kind of situation.
Yeah.
So first of all, what might be some indicators that it's really important to have some research and some access to strong sources, be they, you know, interviews or, you know, the journals that you're talking about, those kinds of resources.
Okay.
What might be some indicators that our blog post or article needs that level of support behind it, as opposed to, you know, hey, saw this great recipe
Right.
on this site?
Okay, my top 3, if I'm writing about these 3 topics, I need every resource that I can possibly get, and it's got to be experts. If I'm writing about law, anything related to law, I worked for a couple of attorneys, and that was, sorry lawyers, I love you to pieces, and I know I might need you someday, but I can't stand writing for lawyers because there's so much red tape. If I'm writing medical, anything medical, I don't care if it's head doctor, heart doctor, psychology, whatever, I got to have resources. And then anything financial, got to have experts. Got to have experts, because if you do anything wrong in those 3 topics, someone's going to get mad. And I get scared of that. I don't like making people angry.
Okay. And then, so the other part of that question, which was super complicated, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, so do you have any other tips or tricks? Because that going to, so you tried to go to all the experts first.
Yes.
In the one story, and you just couldn't get access.
I failed miserably.
And
They were like, who are you?
I wasn't going to put it that way.
Oh, it was bad.
Famous Ashley
Yeah,
Grant,
yeah.
famous. I've got the domain. I own the domain. It's
Yeah.
me. But the so that's one way, is to go back through archives and to find it that way if you can't get the straight up access. But do you have any other advice for ways to get the research that you need to get it done? So you said the library, which hallelujah on that shout out. Love the library.
I love
too.
the library.
The library is my best friend.
Yes.
And and then so going back through archives, through other media, do you have any other nuggets in there for us?
Well, I don't know if this is going to sound bad, but it's actually helped me. When I've needed a source really, really badly and I couldn't find anyone, I'll just post it on Facebook. Hey, I'm looking for an expert on blank. Or I'll just go on Twitter and I'll tag a few writer friends and be like, does anybody know anybody who can help me with this? And most of the time, it turns out okay. I mean, there have been the situations where, like I said, I have had to, hunt for other people's writing, but yeah, sometimes just asking is all you have to do, and you have to get comfortable with asking, because if you just sit there in the corner and you don't ask anybody anything, you're not going to get the article done. And I mean, I know that they say that you shouldn't say article whenever it's for blogs, but it's an article. Come on.
Pshaw on that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's really good advice, and that's how you ended up here.
Yeah, actually, it is.
I texted one of my best friends since high school, and was like, anybody? Do you know anybody? Oh, and I don't know if I should throw him under the bus or not, because I love him, but yeah, maybe after the show. There's a funny story about that.
Okay.
But the not safe for YouTube.
Okay.
But yeah, so I texted him, and then he gave me a list of people, and it was really short notice. So thank you so much. I
No
mean,
problem.
I think you had like, what, 36 hours, something like that?
Yeah, and 8 of those hours I was doing research for a client.
So he gave me a list of people, and then some of them couldn't do this week. We'll be meeting them in future weeks. But one of them knew you.
Yeah.
Kristen Campbell knew you, and so
Yep.
she said try the famous Ashley, and I was a
She
little nervous
actually
because
used
I
to-
was like, but she's famous. So
Yeah. She actually used to be my editor.
Oh wow.
Yep, because I've been freelancing for 10 years now. Oh my goodness, this month makes 10 years that I've been freelance writing, and she was my editor at one of the very first magazines I ever wrote for.
So never tick off your editors.
Never tick off your editors, and don't throw people away.
That's the moral of this segment.
Yes.
Never tick off your editors. Never throw people away.
Yeah.
And then okay, so we talked about how to get the research done, how to
Yes.
get access, how to get these sources. And can you tell us about the connection? And I think you've kind of said it again, but I just wanted to be explicit. What is the connection between accurate, error-free reporting blogging and credibility as a blogger, as a freelance writer, as a professional ghost blogger? What is that connection between the research, accuracy, error-free, and credibility?
Okay, you want to be as accurate as possible, but then there also comes a point where you have to pull the trigger. You have to hit publish, and there is nothing wrong with editing as after it's published. I mean, even the New York Times will post something and then later say this has been updated for. So by all means, if you have it as accurate as you can to the best of your ability. I mean, they even say it on applications when you're applying for a job. Is this application accurate to the best of your ability? Yes, it is. And then if it's not later, fix it. So just go for it.
I have a question about that, about just general ethics. What do you do? The New York Times cites it
Yes.
when they correct an error. Do you cite it, and do you recommend citing it for bloggers?
I think it depends on the situation. I think it depends on what you're blogging about or who it's for. With businesses, if they have messed something up, they generally will say, hey, we wrote this in error, but here's the fix. But with people that are lifestyle bloggers and things like that, I think it really depends on what they're writing. Because if they said that it'll turn your hair blue, but it actually turns it pink, obviously that's a big difference, but it could just be that they had a different experience than someone else is going to have. So I think it's just about, just being honest and saying this is what really happened, and, hopefully no one will get mad.
Okay, so what do you do to improve your posts when you're writing for yourself? So what do you do? How do you edit? How do you do that final check before you pull the trigger? You can be honest.
I'm going to be honest. I will sometimes read it, and then I will save it in the draft folder and come back to it 2 to 3 days later, unless it's timely. If it's timely and I have to do it quickly, sometimes I'll publish it and then edit it after it's been posted. But yeah, for the most part, I'll try to give it a couple days and then look at it with fresh eyes, as they say. But yeah, that's just generally what I've done. But with businesses, with business blogging, I have to edit it many times to make sure that everything's error-free, that it wasn't misspelled, that, you know, if they never use, you know, certain phrases, that I take those out. Like, you know, there were so many different phrases that were like the thing in 2016, and then in 2017, like, it was taboo to say. So, like, you know, those kinds of things. Like, if someone's never going to say, "Hey, y'all," you don't open your post with "Hey, y'all," that kind of thing. So, just depends.
Okay, you have been absolutely amazing.
Thanks.
So far, so fantastic.
Yeah.
At this point, I'd like to go ahead, and if you're ready, we can start looking at some student blogs. Oh, wait, hold on. One last thing before we move on.
Ruh-roh.
Journalism Student 101.
Yeah.
So sorry. Anything else? Is there anything else about this topic of research and access and accuracy? Is there anything else that you want to say about it that we haven't gotten to yet? And specifically, I mean, you kind of sprinkled it in there with the you know, 8 hours researching.
Yeah.
But did you want to talk a little bit more about that? Because you were saying how important research is in professional blogging.
It really is. It's very important. I mean, just because you think you know a lot about a topic does not mean you shouldn't do the research anyway, because you could be dead wrong. I mean, you could be really, really wrong. And it's better to go back and find out for sure than it is to submit something to someone or post it on your own site and then look like an idiot. So research is key so you don't look like an idiot.
I think that's a great wrap up for the entire. Do we have to go?
Is that a
more,
tweetable?
Chris,
We
or
should
can
totally
can we
tweet
just
that.
Go? Tweet
Someone
that for
tweet
us,
that.
Chris. Where's Haley?
Yeah.
Somebody tweet that for us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, Skyla's going to be here next week.
Oh, okay.
She can be the social media manager.
Well, what good does it do us now? We need someone
Skylar, we
social
need
now. Anybody watching this live, if you actually are, tweet that.
Tweet it.
Or and was it Van Wilder? Write that down.
Oh, okay.
Ryan Reynolds, yeah.
Write that down.
Write that down.
Okay, so let's go ahead and pull up some student blogs.
Right now?
Yes, please.
Skeeter did. And we've already opened them for, you know, it's kind of like whenever you bring out the recipe and it's already done. Yeah. We're cooking live on TV, but it's already been written.
We're cooking live on TV from the pre-made one in the oven.
Exactly, exactly.
Okay, so let's start with the good. What do you like about this blog? And we're at
the bottom, just kidding. Ha. Told you this was live.
yeah. The okay,
Is
so
that what you see?
Yep, that's what I see.
okay. So talk to me, what do you like about the Paola D. Oh, Paola, I know you, and I'm going to butcher your name, and I'm apologizing in advance. To Paola and anyone else whose name I butcher. Mazzini? Okay. I know. Do you know how to pronounce it correctly? Oh, he's not talking now. Do you know how to pronounce it correctly?
Paola.
Well, her name is Paola. I know I've got that part right.
We're
Do you know-
wondering
do you
about
know
the last name.
Do you know the last name?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Mazzini, no.
So he's going to mock me for it, but he's not going to do any better. Okay.
We're going to go with Mazzini, and if we're wrong, we're really sorry.
And we apologize,
Yes,
Paola.
very sorry.
We
Yeah.
apologize if we got it wrong.
Okay.
Okay, and you can't call in to correct us. Sorry. Okay. You just have to
Show notes for later. Get a call in.
And you can actually respond live on YouTube. You can,
Yes.
but we can't see them yet because we're busy doing other things. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so eventually that's what Skyla will probably be doing.
Yeah.
As your social media manager.
Okay.
Wait a minute. She's gonna. Okay.
Next week.
Okay. We'll talk.
Back to the site.
Yes. Back to the site. So what do you like? What do you like, Ms. Ashley?
Okay.
About this.
The first thing that jumps out at me is I'm absolutely loving the big image. I'm loving the cleanness of it. I mean, that's the best way I can put it. Is this site looks very clean to me. I love the fact that at the top it has the headings that tells you like, okay, if you want to see this, this, and this is where you go. I think it's awesome. I love this. I love the way that the photos. Oh, it's fantastic. And noticing this is old content though. Got to get some updated content on this homepage.
How do you know it's old
because the date's on it.
Oh.
We have two 2015 pieces on the top.
Do you know what, Paola? You have this set to where it is, and I think this is in your settings, other people might know better, but you have it set to where it has your oldest posts first, and your newer posts are lower down. So you've posted as of April 2017, but nobody who's viewing the site could know that until they got to the bottom.
Yep.
So I think that that's something that you might be able to fix easily just in your settings.
Yeah.
That would really go a long ways in making this even better.
Yes, it would be even better. I love that. And I also love the fact that she has her social links like prominently displayed. I know exactly how to find her on LinkedIn, exactly where to find her on Twitter. That way if I want to get to know her better, I can stalk her.
Yay!
As we said it.
You can add her to the Really Stalker feed. It's Really Stalker feed.
Yeah, but I love the photo, and I love how big the name is, and that it announces exactly what this is for. So I think it's a great site.
So let's look at content,
Okay.
and see if we see any research. Now here she says aspiring attorney, so that falls into that. Oh, see, look, she's posted. I'm pointing, like people can see me pointing. It says that here it says your latest post was October 17th, 2017, which was like what, Monday? Today. So right,
Yesterday.
today's 17th. Yes.
Today's the 18th. Thanks for
Today's
playing.
the 18th. Yeah. No one told me I had to know the date.
Yeah.
That was not one of the qualifications. But so yes, you posted yesterday, but it doesn't look like that at all on that front page. So I would beg you,
on the home
Paola,
page.
to put that on the home page. Okay, so you get to pick guest's choice, Ashley.
Yep.
Go ahead and grab something that looks good to you, and let's talk about research.
Oh, I want to. Oh, research.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about
Focus on research.
Yeah, that's
All right. Well, I guess we could just jump right in here. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and be, again, 100% honest. I might not know anything about what I'm about to read, but awkward dead air as I read, sorry.
I will talk while you read. I don't know what
Okay.
I'll talk about, but I will talk while you read. Do we want to read it out loud?
I just want to point out real quick that I'm already seeing that research was necessary for this post because she's bringing up, something that happened in 1975 and something that happened in 1974. So I think that one thing I would like to see, oh, there they are. There's the sources. I was going to say what I'd like to see is where the sources are, but yeah, this is actually pretty phenomenal that she put all the sources there. Because if she's wanting to be a aspiring attorney, I'm really glad to see that she put all these sources.
And can we look at the sources?
Yeah.
Let's go down. Let's peek at the sources.
Am I scrolling too fast? I feel. All right, there's the sources.
Okay. So, what do you think about the sources that she went to? So let's look. So we've got a handbook. We've got from 1988. We've got. I don't know what this is. Optional protocol to the convention. I don't. What kind of?
Well, the one thing I will say is on number 5, it lists a web source. I would have really liked to have seen her link to it.
Okay.
But in terms of the other ones, what I'm gathering is that they're probably something that she was able to read in like a law library. But I mean, having a hard time saying exactly what I want to say here, but it is awesome that she included the sources. It's clear that she really took the time to figure out, what she wanted to say.
And do you have an even better if on the sources? Or
well, like I said, just with the web one, I think it'd be really cool if, unless it's like a website that can't be publicly viewed, I think it would have been cool to be able to go to that site and read more. Because that's one thing I've noticed with a lot of the things I write for businesses is if I cite certain things, they want to know more. So, but
okay,
I can't hate on it.
Okay, awesome.
Can't hate on it.
Awesome, good. Okay, so let's go to the next one.
All right. Carbon is carbon. Is this coming up okay on the screen? Are you able to?
Because we can't see it from here.
What?
We can't see it here, and then on that monitor it's
So is
now
it showing
there.
up on the YouTube live? Okay, very cool. As long as other people can see it, we're okay with
Who
that.
cares what we can see?
Yeah, who cares what we can see? Again, I love the fact that the social media icons are prominent.
Switch something. I'm just gonna try switching. And then I'll just try
Okay.
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 All right.
Thank you.
But yeah, again, I like the fact that the social media icons are right there and I can see everything. Love the photos. I mean, images are huge in blogging because you need a headline that's going to pop out and get someone's attention. But I love photos that draw you in and make you want to read more. I will say one of the first things that popped out at me, though, in these first two posts, they both open with "Welcome back to my blog," and I think it would be better if the writer of this blog wrote something else as the intro, because if every single time someone's coming to your site, if they're always seeing the same intro, I think it would kind of bore the reader or make it look like you didn't try to get them more interested in what you're writing. But maybe that's just me.
No, I would agree too. What about you, Chris? Do you?
Yeah.
Do you concur?
He concurs. Okay, do you want to pick one?
All right, let's pick this one. I kind of like this one because the infographic has my attention. So, burning trees for clean energy.
And is this the one with the infographic?
Yeah, it had an infographic in it.
Okay. So,
I love infographics, like, because they're great for Pinterest, to be putting them on Pinterest. People love to see that. They like to be able to just, if they don't want to sit there and read your blog, they can go to it quickly and get the important nuggets and then move on. So I'm a big fan of infographics. Granted, I haven't used them as much as I would like to, but I'm a fan. I do like that the picture was sourced, that they said exactly where they got it from.
now, speaking of sources,
Yes.
is there any? Can you just grab? Let's look and see what kind of citation he's done.
This is a picture from an original article.
Right, but for the word content, for the words, has he? Because this topic seems to me another, because it's all scientific-like.
Yeah.
It seems to me that it would be very important to have research. So, okay, and
There are lots of links that are showing up to where he found his content. So I think that's pretty awesome. That way, again, if someone wants to click to learn more, they can.
okay, and then is there any chance, can you make one of those open on your computer? Can you do that magical open a link thingy?
We're going to find out.
Yay, we may have just ended the world, but
There it is. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, look, it's redacted. we got black lines on here like it's redacted. That's fantastical.
I don't know what's more exciting, the fact that it's redacted or how excited you got about the fact
Makes me
it's
feel like I'm
redacted.
reading something top secret. That's why I like it.
Okay, so what I'm wondering is and what I want to make sure is, and I've met this young man, Brett, I want to make sure that the link is going to the information that it's referring to. Do you see what I'm saying? Instead
Yeah.
of just the home page on a site. So does this look like it matches what's going? Do you remember which one we clicked on?
Yeah, we clicked the UK government.
Okay.
Without reading the entire story, I can't speak to whether or not it definitely is what it's supposed to be. But I mean, it looks like it is from where I'm sitting. I'd have to sit there and read it all. Okay. Again, this is live.
Yes, and we don't, that's not good TV. Watching you read for the next 15 minutes.
No, I don't think anyone would enjoy that.
I'm going to take your word for it.
But yeah, I'm a big fan of links to sources. If you can ever link to something, I love the fact that he has a. You said it was a gentleman, right?
Yes.
I love the fact that at the end there's a video, or not the end, but there's a video in there. I'm all about visualization. I love stuff that that I can watch more. Excuse me.
No, you're fine. This seems to be at face value, just skimming and scanning as we go. It seems to be very well researched. Can we go back out to his homepage? Because I would like to see what he's doing as far as how often he's posting. Because I'm kind of impressed by the level of apparent research or seeming research in this. Oh, they all have infographics. So do we have dates for post dates?
No, and I'll be honest with you, I'm kind of excited by that.
Okay, tell me why.
When it's something that can be evergreen, I'm a big fan of not including dates.
Okay.
Because that way, every time I share it, it doesn't look like it's old content.
Ah, I like it. I like it. I like it. So, okay, so this is slightly off topic, but so the rule would be then if because it just seems,
Excuse
oh,
me.
Are you okay? I'm sorry. It seems like it seems almost. I would almost have physical difficulty not. I'm so sorry. Do you need to? Okay.
Water.
Yes. Okay. The Ashley's going to step out for a second, and I'm going to endeavor to not have dead air time. May I look at things on your computer while you do that? Okay. Okay. And any problems that happen from here on out that may have anything to do with sound or anything like that are all my fault and not Chris's. Chris worked really hard to have everything done. Okay, so Ashley was just talking about perennial content or content that can be used over and over again, not having a date on it, which seems counter to what I've always been told. I feel like it would almost be physically difficult to not put a date on content. But are you going to come hang out with me now, Chris?
No, we're not. I'm just going to adjust.
Okay. Okay. So that's an intriguing idea, and I will want to talk more with her more about that when she comes back. But Brett, I will say that I really like the mix of information. So this says October 18th, so that is today, if I'm understanding how the timeline works in this reality. I really like a lot of what you've done here. I like Ashley said, how you've got the research linked. I like how you include photos and infographics and more infographics and video. I think it's a really good mix of types of content. I'm going to scroll back up, and we're going to look next is Liz in the City, windy but well worth it. And I'm going to do that. I will come back. I will come back. Okay. You got a what? I'm on this side. It's on this side. What? Okay.
Okay, now you can.
You can scroll while I dance with Chris.
Hold on. I know people can't see it, but we're
dancing.
Ashley had to go clear her throat, so now we're going to.
I was going to say something daintier than clear her throat.
Yeah, I've been sick for the past 3 days, and it decided to hit me just now.
And
So,
she's been trying to not let that happen.
Yes.
She's made heroic efforts up to this point. So thank you for your patience. I'm going to do.
All right.
So let's scroll at a dizzying pace. It
Yes.
can actually be slowly up to the top and see where they're at. And again, any problem with the sound would be my fault and not Chris's.
No.
He had it perfect.
So the first thing I'll say is, again, I love photos. Big photos. I love photos. The biggest thing I can say, though, that I would probably do to make this a little bit better is to break up all this text. People like me, we see all this text and we run. We don't want to read it because it looks overwhelming. So I would definitely say break up these big paragraphs.
So breaking it into smaller paragraphs, like that one is better.
Yes,
And
but
then-
even that one I would break up.
Okay.
Even this one that's on the screen, because on blogs, what I've noticed is people are usually reading it on their phones, and so they want short, bite-sized little nuggets that get the point across as quickly as possible.
Now, if you're in love with your longer paragraph, is this a situation where we could put the short, bite-sized things up top, and then as we go further down, the paragraphs can grow? Because if people are there that long, they would be willing to read, or is it just, nope, if it's a blog and it's a post, you need to have, it needs to be fun-sized?
I think it depends on the content you're writing. Like the more intense the subject, the more you want to break it up and make it easier to understand, in my opinion. But there are some people who think, you know, oh, if you want long paragraphs, make it long. And then I have some people that are actually clients that don't want any sentences longer than 7 words. So it really depends on the kind of content you're writing about. For this one, though, it seems more like it's a lifestyle blog, and I just would really like to see the sentences a little more, or not sentences, I'm sorry, the paragraphs broken up a little bit more. Maybe throw in like some, you know, different fonts, or even some bullet points, or something that's going to keep my attention and not make me fall asleep while I'm reading it on my pillow, because that's probably where I'm going to be reading something like this, because I love reading in bed, which I know you're not supposed to do, but I like it. But yeah, I love the photos. I'm a huge fan of the big photos. But again, just every time I see these big blocks of text, I'm bored already, and I don't want to read anymore.
Okay, well, I'm glad we stuck with 100% honest.
Aren't you glad?
And I'm sure that Liz is too.
But the thing is, I mean, I bet you everything that she wrote here is phenomenal. I bet it's awesome. But the problem is, I don't want to sit here and look through all of the big blocks of text to find out whether or not it's good. But yeah, that's the only thing I can really say, is I would be more inclined to really, really read this if the sentences were broken into smaller paragraphs.
Okay, I hope I'm not stepping into a hornet's nest here.
That's okay.
How do you feel about subheadings?
I love subheads. Huge fan. They're great for SEO. They're really good for SEO, especially if you're using a specific keyword that you're trying to get a lot of attention on. You know, if you can include an important keyword in multiple subheads, by all means. Like, in fact, one of the articles that I'm working on right now, the actual instructions said, here's the keyword, and please use it once in the headline, twice in 2 different subheads, and 5 to 7 times organically throughout the article. So, I mean, I'm a big fan of subheads. Love them. And it also helps it because it gives everybody who's reading your piece a beginning, middle, and end multiple times. So if I can't finish reading your post right now, I can come back and go, okay, I know I read section 1, but I'll come back to the other sections later.
That's a really good point. Do we want to look at...
8-minute warning.
Okay, thank you. We got our 8-minute warning.
Yep.
Which I have 7 minutes.
I'm on my phone, so we must have weird differences.
This happened with this happens with you and Casey a lot also. The iPhone and the Android have different times.
iPhone and Androids have different times? Fascinating.
Yeah.
I have 6:54 right now.
I have 6:54.
I have 6:54 right now.
All right, well then we're all synced
But
up. Let's
just a
keep it
minute
going.
ago- okay. Sorry.
So
That's not exciting to be done.
do we have time for another site, or
I think we have time for one more.
okay? Could go with this one because it's definitely something I can speak to, or not speak to, but that I've dealt with. It's a Climb. I love, love, love the title of the blog. It's fantastic, and I like the subtitle too. Big thing I can say on this one so far is I would love to see some images that capture my attention and make me want to click through to this blog post.
And I think that it takes a lot of bravery
Yes.
to be willing to bring random anonymous readers along with you on such a personal journey.
Yes.
But I also feel like it's hugely important, and I know that that I'm a photophobe. I really have a very hard time being photographed, having all sorts of fun here today, but I just really wish that, and I don't know the student's name. Can you go a little bit lower so I can see the name? Marilyn.
Marilyn.
I really wish that Marilyn would go even further and let us see the photos of her as she progresses.
Yes, and I'll be honest with you though, even if it's not photos of her, if she's a photophobe like yourself, I'd like to see images of her food or images of you know, what she's buying, or if she's got a specific workout that she is interested in that she's talking about. Like, I haven't read most of this yet, obviously, but if she's posting anything about diet or workout, show me a video. Like, if you have access to some kind of a video, you can post it from YouTube and embed it into your post. Just something that gives you some visual aspect to it, because it is such a personal story, and it'd be so awesome to be able to get people interested in it by pulling them in with photos and video. That's what I'd love to see on this.
And I think that there may even be a way to work infographics
Yes.
in with this.
Yes.
In charting the progress and things like that for people to easily see what you've accomplished. I'm seeing some
goals.
random-ish numbers on the side. I haven't been able to put together what they are yet. But yeah, so I'm seeing some goals and things on the side. So, you know, maybe a small infographic below it showing progress toward the goal. And this is being such a personal topic. I'd like to go back to research for a second. So with this idea that it can be important to have original research and reporting in our blogs, are there any ways that you can think of where she might be able to pull that into such a personal topic?
Absolutely. For instance, if she's talking about her goal being, you know, to lose weight by diet, maybe she could do some articles on the best ways to diet. Or if it's about working out, your articles that you are citing sources from could be, you know, the best techniques, that kind of stuff. So there's always something that you can research to just plump up your content and make it better. And yes, it can be personal and it can be from your perspective, but there's always a way that you can add some research to it to make it, you know, speak to more than just you.
Okay. Well, we're almost out of time. We're coming to the end. And so is there, having looked at having gotten to look at a handful
Yes.
of student blogs, are there any trends, is there anything that, based on this smattering, that you would want to say to all of our student bloggers?
The biggest thing I would say is I admire every single one of you for having the courage to put your words out there. That's amazing, and you are going to have haters. I mean, I'm just going to warn everybody right now, no matter what you're writing about, you are going to have haters. And I hope I didn't offend anybody with anything that I said, because it's just my opinion, but my opinion's been wrong before. And you know, I feel like anything that you want to write about, if you're writing about something that you're passionate about, just keep going for it, keep working at it. You're going to see what works for your readers and what doesn't. But I mean, I think this has been pretty cool. I had no idea there were blogging classes. Like, I mean, I knew there were blogging classes online, but I didn't know that it was like becoming so prevalent in universities. And I think this is the neatest thing. And just anybody who's a blogger, keep going.
Well, thank you so much for giving us your time.
Thank you for having me.
Famous Ashley Grant. And this is not Casey Frechette.
I'm not Casey Frechette either, but I am Famous Ashley Grant, and you can find me as Famous Ashley Grant all over social media and on my website.
And we will see you guys next week. Okay, why?
And we're back!
For some unknown reason.
I just want to do this real quick.
Oh, okay. Okay. This footage will go into the extras. This will be the director's cut.
Cut, print, check the gate, moving on. Nobody move.